Today, we're leaving Penasco, Mexico, after what feels like the longest year ever. I arrived back from Arizona earlier this week after a successful surgery, and hopefully last, in my breast reconstruction post-vasectomy. Since then, we grabbed provisions, which will be needed for the multiple passage it will take to eventually reach Puerto, and ticked off remaining boat to-dos, such as installing our new superior life-saving 4-person life raft to Calico's stern rail. We're leaving Federico's, the marina we've called home for well over a month now, and are headed south on our first passage towards our ultimate destination, Puerto, about 800 miles southeast. We're hoping to cover 250 miles over the next 2.5 days before waiting for good sailing weather to continue on.
Knots. Oh, just over. Calico's out.
Calico's out.
Let's see if that main. I like this window a lot. I could look at the vision of the mainsail now.
Such a clear image. And the sail is amazing.
All right, we did it. Whoa.
Well, the new sail is amazing. I feel like the boat is stiffer than she has been, and it reminds me of the first time we got new sails, which would have been like over 10 years ago. And so that's great, and we have a good weather window. It was a crazy week. I came in on Monday after my surgery, got here Monday night. Bill and I had dentist appointments, and Wednesday I had another dentist appointment, and then Thursday we had to go back to the border to do our immigration and pick up a couple packages, and then into provision, put all the food away, and that leads us to today, Friday. I had to go to another dentist appointment. I just got a cap on, so I still have Novocaine. And yeah, it was a scramble, but we left, and we had to leave because there's a big bad system coming in on Monday, and our passage is gonna be 2.5 days, and it's gonna kind of bump up into that little bit of a bad weather system, but hopefully we only get a few hours of it. That's why we were trying to leave as soon as possible. My dentist appointment got pushed back because the cap wasn't ready. Oh my God. So, here we are. It's a marathon this week, huh, hun?
Telling me. Did a marathon for a little bit, feels like.
We promised ourselves we wouldn't be in Penasco at this time of year because once the weather changes for the winter, you get winter weather patterns, which are not really what we want. The wind is blowing in the right direction generally, but it blows too strong. I don't think we're gonna feel celebratory until we get a little further. But at some point, I think we'll hopefully have some time to just like reflect on the fact that we just left like the place we've been for a year, and so much has happened in our personal lives in that year. And so, yeah, it's kind of crazy. We left some good friends behind that we've now, hung out with for a year. Some of them actually have left already, like Small World. They just left a few hours ahead of us, so they're going to the next spot with us, which is Loretto, by the way. And Mike and Katie and Alegria left a couple weeks ago, so some of our friends will be meeting up with again. We'll see what we get into here with this weather, and I want to help Bill out as much as I can because he is not feeling good. So, yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, the wind is getting a little sporty here. We're up to 16. But so I took down the code and put up the jib. Just hold up to our canvas, but rudder is working harder than I would like. That's what 18 knocked us there. So we're doing speeds in the 7s. Look at all that orange, eh?
on watch at 6 a.m. It's a beautiful morning, and Bill did most of the night watch and let me sleep. I think I slept from 2 to 5:30 or something, which was really nice, and now I feel pretty energized and just enjoying our first sunrise at sea in so long. And it's always amazing to me how quickly I guess, lose everything that's so amazing about the boat when I'm kind of on land. Like I know it's good and it makes me feel good, but I just forget. And yeah, it's pretty awesome being out here kind of all alone. We did see a couple fishing boats overnight, but everything is good. The only thing is the radar dome. Our radar isn't working, and I think we know why. But yeah, I mean, we've been motoring, but we knew the first day would be a motor. I don't think we've talked about that on camera. So we're trying to beat a weather system that's coming in 2 days. So yeah, we did get to sail quite a bit though before nightfall. So can't win them all. That's cruising versus, say, just taking the boat out for a sail when the wind's good. Yeah, and just gonna hang out here, watch the water.
Well, it's been a hell of a day. So far, the breakages include our radar band that we fixed last summer, our water maker, I think that's about it. The water maker, had a little leak. It was making perfect water, and when I took the panel out, I snapped a barb fitting, so I'm gonna have to MacGyver something to make that work. It's for the reject where the water goes overboard, the salty water. Anyhow, motor's off after about 17 hours of sailing. I mean, rather, about 17 hours of motoring. Getting to go a little bit downwind now. And yeah, I'm thinking about making a switch to wing on wing soon. It's getting to be at that level. Rather double head sail. But yeah, we're still out here. It's funny, I feel like I tried to prepare so much, but things still break. It's got to put the boat to sea to see what happens. And good news, the engine has been running well, knock on wood. The blower is working. AutoPilot seems to be holding on pretty good. And the new sails are absolutely amazing. Like, the boat feels so different going upwind now, and it's so much more forward momentum and not heeling. So having a fresh sail inventory is huge. We will sort out these little issues as when we get in, and keep on keeping on.
We just got Starlink back.
And we got Starlink.
So I'm working.
Our flat dish works pretty well too, so that's cool. But yeah. The wind is beginning to clock behind us as forecasted, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the pole set up on the starboard side so we can get double head sails going and drop the main eventually. I can see the code zero starting to collapse, which means it's getting wind shaded by the main. in downwind mode now. Main was dropped. It is not easy without a Dutchman or a lazy jack there, but I did it. Pulled out Genoa and code 0, let out, and also tweaked down to help get a better angle up top. Whew, time for a break.
Well, today was a pretty easy day, other than all those things that we broke. And I didn't really sleep much last night. I think the hormone treatment I'm on makes it harder for me to sleep, so I take a lot of things now to sleep, and I'm not taking them because I'm offshore, so I'm not feeling that great. I'm gonna eat my dinner, which is like the rest of this yogurt container, because we don't want to use water for dishes if we don't have to, since we only have, what do we have, 20 or 30 gallons? 20.
Right there, the burp hole. That's air, hopefully. Go. No. Let's see, now it's not letting me go. This has been one trying passage. Refrigerator, water maker, autopilot.
Water heater.
Water heater is acting up again. Radar. All in span of like 200 and something miles. After a major refit.
And not having any of these problems this summer.
Yeah, it's kind of discouraging. And I tried everything. I put the autopilot on. I put the radar on. I tested the hot water non-return valve. Yeah, so.
Oh, our fridge!
Our fridge broke too. I didn't tell you guys that one.
Literally, like, this has all happened in the last, like, 4 hours. Pretty much, right? Since the last time we picked up the camera.
Yeah, it's kind of discouraging.
Yeah, and the fridge, we think it's because of what. We think that the breakage to the water maker caused the breakage to the fridge. The autopilot,
Fluid was low.
I think we have a fluid leak, and the drive is moving funny, which it shouldn't be moving at all, and it was never doing that before, so that's new. Radar is kind of a mystery.
It's the belt probably again.
It's the belt, but it shouldn't be. Like, we can't break belts, like, regularly.
Well, maybe
is there something wrong?
I don't know. I have spares on board for that.
But yeah, so we have to figure that out. And what was the other thing?
Water maker.
Water maker, right, water maker. So I think we're just gonna have to hand steer if it craps out again. Haven't slept yet, and I would like to sleep a little bit before I do any kind of steering, but Bill is sick and tired as well. So I think it's gonna be a long, how many miles left?
100 something. I mean, if we went all the way to, we go to Santa Rosalia.
About 100 here. To where? Santa Rosalia?
Santa Rosalia. I mean, if this thing holds on, I guess we'll keep going. I'm not looking at there. Green light?
Do you see a light?
I don't know. I feel so disoriented now. What is that thing? Is that a star? Or?
The one like closer to the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a star.
Is it steering us or what?
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, it's gonna fail again. I need to do anything. the buckle. Yeah, it's air in the lines.
That would be a good thing. Like, in terms of being able to fix this.
I feel like it's weak though. It's like like this. It should like bear down, but I guess it is. Yeah, it's yeah, it shouldn't fight like that. The drive's going, I think.
Are you serious?
The wheels aren't really moving, see?
So what does that mean?
It probably needs to be serviced.
Like, have we ever fixed the drive?
Yeah, this is the second one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. We have the spare on board too. Uh-oh. Alright, look at that.
Yeah, I heard that too.
A little bit. Well, this is no fun.
There's no light. I don't know what to do about that.
I guess I'll have to overlay something. I gotta be able to watch what I'm doing. Just like, I don't know, 22 knots on the beam, really steep seas. Really hard work steering this boat. Autopilot's out. We diverted course. It's like too hard for Grace to steer this thing in these waves, especially after surgery. Not a great situation. And I'm tired. I slept probably 3 hours this whole passage so far. Like the latest overboard.
Really? Sorry. There's one right here. Well, the sun is finally starting to rise. Gave Bill a caffeine pill about an hour ago because he was really starting to fade. It's about 6 a.m. now. And I think Bill mentioned this earlier. I was unable to steer. It was such a dark night. There's no moon, no stars. The clouds were covering the stars, and the only way you could steer with the amount of wind we were in and like the sea state is you had to pick a point like a star or something and kind of. Am I explaining this right?
Yeah. Steer to the star.
And steer to the star, and so Bill, like the way he's sitting now, is how he sat so he could see the star, but I don't have my arms aren't that long. So like I had to be behind the wheel, and it was just so pitch black that it was impossible to really get a good feel, and I kept losing
Your bearings.
my bearings, and then we were downwind, so I would just be like overcorrecting, and it was just kind of a disaster. So yeah. I'm hoping that when the sun comes up and I can actually see better, I'll be able to steer, because we're not going to be in until 11, so we have another 5 hours hand steering. So can't really get it on film because this is a hard thing to film, but the waves right now are like how what we would describe as being very square and very close together and very steep, and a lot of the waves are breaking too, so it's just a very confused sea state, and it's hard to get like a nice rhythm behind the wheel. Bill's actually doing like a really good job. I think you're
5 hours of this will make you do that.
Yeah. I think there's definitely some things that are going to come out of this passage that we'll be talking about, because it was kind of an eye-opener for us. Not so much that so many things broke, because like we've obviously had that happen before, But I think like the fact that I just got back from surgery less than a week ago, and Bill's been really sick the whole time I was gone, and I actually got sick yesterday. I got what he had. I think we just underestimated like our ability in the situation where everything goes wrong. Like, we were more focused on, you know, if most things go okay, we'll be fine. But this passage is an example of a lot of things going in a really unexpected way. Like, we haven't had any indication of having autopilot issues at all. Everything that broke, Bill tested before we left. Some things more than others, but everything was touched. So this is just one of those scenarios where it's like the worst case. And I don't think that we appreciated, at least this is how I feel. I don't know if Bill feels as strongly as I do, but it was definitely risky. I think leaving in kind of the state that we were in this time of the year, because Sea Cortez is, I've said this before, it's not that easy. Like, it's not like Hatteras, but it's definitely will be like forever on my radar. It's just, especially the top of the Sea Cortez, it's big tides, there's lots of currents everywhere. It tends to like really get crappy quick. Like, the wave state here is just really bad. Not everywhere, it's like worse in some places than others, but the other thing too is like the weather is really unreliable here. Like, we had 4 models that were not all different from each other, but somewhat. We had to use a local model because none of the models were showing the weather that we were seeing physically when we were in the slip in Penasco. So I don't know. We were just trying so hard to get out of Penasco because it's really not smart to leave much after the beginning of November. So we really pushed.
Most dangerous thing on a boat is the schedule.
Yeah, the most dangerous thing on a boat is the schedule, and I'm flying out for my sister's surgery, which now we don't know if we're like, so we were supposed to go on this passage all the way to Loretto, and we're bailing out in a spot called Santa Rosalia. We're not making it to where we were planning to be, and now there's a system coming in, so we're probably not going to be able to sail for a bit. And so, yeah, I mean, these are things we know, but it's just not it's not realistic. We can't not have a schedule because we have a family and we have a business, and yeah, it's just, yeah, but it's a huge wake-up call. And what else? Probably not gonna want to edit that.
All-nighter. It's my first break in 7 hours.
As the sun continues to rise, conditions ease ever so slightly. Or maybe things just feel better because we can see now. At least the light makes it easier for me to steer, and after 7 long hours on the helm, Bill retires and I practice my downwind sailing in the choppy seas. It's been a very long and very discouraging passage, but as the hours tick by, my confidence grows, and I start to feel hopeful that making it in before the next system rolls in, forecasted to be a big one, is possible. We've had disaster passages before, but after all the work we did and the year we've had, it just feels like we're owed a break. But that's what can make this life so challenging. Mental toughness is essential to survival. Our feelings about what we deserve do not factor into the equation, and I should know this rule by now. We've been here before, and we will prevail again. As I turn these thoughts over in my mind, my perspective continues to change. Dealing with these breakages now is actually very good compared to the alternative of potentially not finding issues once we're thousands of miles away across the Pacific Ocean. Like it often goes, there is a silver lining here, and the more I focus on that fact, the lighter our situation feels. Okay, so the GoPro died. Our ETA is noon, so we have another 3 hours to go. The spirits are higher again, even though we broke almost everything you can break, it feels like. Bill's getting some rest, and the good news is that they have a slip for us in Santa Rosalia. The only thing is we don't know if we can get parts there, and we have a feeling that the motor might be the problem on the AutoPilot, so we'll see. We're gonna just focus on getting in, getting into our slip and resting, and then we'll figure that out. It's an hour later, and now we are an hour, 2 hours away. And the sea state has come down a good amount. Bill made me a coffee. I actually feel okay, which is kind of crazy for me. And Bill is also already starting work on research for what parts we need and what could be wrong. Because the AutoPilot's the biggest problem that we have right now. So yeah, TBD. But yeah, I started steering with my toes.